we will be learning today is about, still we are going to review a little bit about Unity, camera lighting, game object, which you already get a little bit last class. And more importantly, I'll introduce you to the game controller, the Xbox game controller, and how can we make the controller work with Unity, work with the game engine. So you'll be able to learn how to create this controller, creating controls for keyboard, how can you use keyboard in Unity, and how can you write a function to detect whether your controller or whether the controller is plugged in or not. So we're going to do that with our code in the script. Okay. Okay. Looks like it's working. Okay, nice. All right. Get started. Okay, so first, let's talk about still the camera. Okay, let's put it here. Let's talk about the camera. Okay, when you open the Unity, it should be look like this. Alright, so in this thing, this is the thing that we're going to use today, and it has two cubes there, a camera and a light. So talking about camera, is this thing looks like a camera, and you can select camera two ways. One is you can click it in the scene, and the other way is you can select it in this hierarchy panel of your game. So this whole area, the left side, is the hierarchy panel. So you can manipulate the hierarchy of the game. So which object belongs to which object is a parent, which object is a grandfather, grand-grandfather, things like that. Like this, okay? And yeah, and camera, I've been talking about field of view, the background. You can use a skybox to have this kind of sky. It looks like sky. It's actually a box there. It's not really sky, just a 2D thing. And another thing you can play around here is this view wrap. Can you see clearly? So students in the last. Okay. All right. So this viewport. So we have four. We have four things here. One's X, Y, W, and H. Okay. So in order to understand what is those X, Y, W, and H, we can try to add another camera here. Let me add another camera. So just copy paste this camera. Let's call it camera 2. Okay. So if we select camera 2, and then we can drag this to move it a little bit away from camera 1. Then we have two cameras here, right? So when you are navigating in the thing, what you can do is use your left mouse, use your right button of your mouse, click, and you can drag. Then you can do the rotation. Yeah, or you can scroll your mouse to zoom in, zoom out. So that's the easiest way. And if you somehow get lost here, if you want to try to find the camera 2, you just need to find camera 2 here and double click it. It will be put in the middle of your screen. And also what you can do here, here we have some gizmo stuff. So if you want to view this, thing from, like, for example, from the Z direction, what you do is you click it. Okay, then you find out here on the right corner, on the upper right corner, the Z, you cannot see Z anymore, because you are putting your, let's see, this is another camera for you to view this thing, but it's not a camera in the game, so you can freely manipulate this camera here, but it won't affect anything in the game eventually. So here you are viewing this thing from the Z direction, from Z axis. And if you want to view this thing from top, you need to click this Y, see? And then you are viewing it from the top. And X from this side, Y is the top. Yeah. Alright, let's go back to camera. Alright, so we have 2 cameras here. Let's manipulate this view rect to make it like, show the thing that 2 cameras, show both cameras on the screen. Okay. You can rotate the camera as I mentioned. All right. So we have 2 cameras. The main camera, we can see both cubes, and the camera 2, we can see the blue cube, and the black one is kind of blocked by the blue one. So if at this moment, if we run the game, what happened is the main camera, we can only see the main camera, but yeah, we can only see the main camera since that's the main camera. And actually camera 2 is still rendered, but it's just not shown. It's blocked by the main camera. So what we can do here is 2 things. First, we can manipulate this depth of the camera. So which one is on top of which? You can use the depth to adjust. Let's put the camera depth as 1. Let's see. So increase the depth of the camera. So now camera 2 is on top of camera 1. Okay. And then what if we want to see both cameras? We need to manipulate the thing in the viewport rect. Okay, so let's see X, Y. Let's see, 0.5. Okay, let's see what's going to happen if we put 0.5, 0.5, 0.5, 0.5 in 2, and we put 0, 0, 0.5, 0.5 in 1. Let's see what's going to happen. See, so this happened. So we can see both cameras here. So this is the main camera. This is a camera 2. But it's kind of starting from the halfway. It's not like blocked have the whole screen. So we can make a guess, like what kind of thing is this X and Y control, and what is this W and H control. Let's do something else. If we put camera 2 as 0.7, guess what's gonna happen? Yeah. Camera 2 is getting more room. Let's see. Oh, so it's not that way. So that's a camera 2, you get more room, and you're starting from a different position. So let's assume this point is the starting point of a camera. Okay. So what we can tell from that is, first, this W and H. Let's move it back to 0.5. See, so this is, so that is still 0.5. The camera 2 is still having the 0.5 W and H. So we can tell that W and H, it actually controls the width and height of your camera. So if we put 0.5 here, what it's gonna do is it will only use, so no matter how large your screen is, no matter what is the width and height of the screen, it will take half of the width and half of the height as the setting for this camera if you put 0.5 there. Okay, and this X and Y is actually the starting point. Where do you want to start rendering this camera? So since we put 0.3 and 0.3, if we disable this main camera, okay, what you can do is, if you want to view both windows, the game and scene, you can do this. You can do things like this. Okay. So for camera 2, if we put it like 0, 0 is gonna happen. Where will it move? Yeah, to left and okay, 0 to left. And what if I put 0 here? Up or down? Yeah, it's down. Okay, so it's kind of a little bit different from if you have a computer graphic knowledge or some other knowledge. Sometimes the axis is starting from there to the left up. That is called 0, 0. But in Unity, here the left down is called 0, 0. Okay, so there's some different system here. But here we're talking about, we assume the 0, 0 is at the left down corner. Is 0, 0. Okay, so it's 0, 0, 0.5, 0.5. So that's the setting for this cam. And if we increase the width, it will become like this. If we increase the height, see. Okay. Yeah. So let's see if we do things like this. Okay, let's delete camera 2, enable camera 1. And move C2 a little bit off from the camera 1. Okay, so now what we have is the main camera is like this. And if we'll make the main camera is the one at the right. this camera, we make it start from 0, 0, and we put the height as 1. Then we put the main camera, we put start from 0.5. And then we put a 1 here. No, y0. Great. Okay. Now we have this rendering. Okay. We have this rendering, the left side and right side. Do you know what this kind of rendering is for? Yes, exactly. So when you are using some virtual reality goggles, it always give you, actually in that thing, you have 2 cameras. One camera is like your left eyes. The other camera is like your right eyes. Okay, and then when your brain can detect the little bit shift from different camera, you can see that's actually different render. So the right side and the left side, you look things, the render is kind of different. You can see different angle. You can observe those cues from different angles. So when your brain detects those kind of shift, this kind of difference, then it combines the 2 images and form a stereo image in your brain. So that's basically the basic theory, basic principle of how those stereo display the virtual reality goggles, how they work. Yeah. But of course, you need to adjust a lot of things here in the camera, not only the position. You have to take into consideration of the distance between humans pupil, and it's called DPI. Yeah. So you need to consider that, and render, you need to manipulate other properties of your camera. Yeah. So that's about the camera. And also another concept I want you to be aware of is, let's wait back. Okay. The view column of the camera. See? So the camera, it actually has a view column. So if you look at this lines here, it actually is the view column of your camera. It's defined by first the field of view and then the clipping planes, with which we have a far plane and a near plane. So what does it mean? First, you've already learned what is field of view. So when you manipulate field of view, see, it increases a lot for the column. It increases the angle you can observe from your camera. So by default, it's usually 60. And if you move this near planes and far planes, what's going to happen is, see, this is okay. So this is the near plane. It's like only the thing between the near plane and the far plane will be rendered. If we move the near plane pretty far, see, when these 2 cubes, they are out of the view column, of your camera. They are not being rendered anymore. Because, yeah, the camera only rendered that area between the near plane and the far plane, and also the area, the side, the area, it depends, space of the area, it depends on the field of view as well. if we move the clip here, so those two cubes are within that space, so they will be rendered. And so is the far clip. If we move it pretty like 10, okay. See, it's gone. And even when further, it will be rendered. Okay. Usually, we don't manipulate these things if you are using the default setup. But sometimes, if you are doing projects that's pretty sensitive to the camera, well, what you want to render, you kind of need need the clip plans to manipulate with that, play with that. Okay. All right. Lighting, we have already been covered that last week. So most important thing is the directional light, which is may not be the way you think it is, right? Because the directional light is basically, it's always from that direction, like the sun. It's always from that direction. It won't change. If you change the position of the light, it doesn't matter. Just on that direction, there will be light coming out. All right. Then we need to play a little bit with this game object. All right. So if we want to add another cube to this thing, what we're going to do is this game object, 3D object, and we put the cube in. And we can move this cube by doing this, drag. You just need to drag. Yeah. That's how you position this cube. Also, what you can do is here. Here we have this transform components for this cube here. We can manipulate this transform. Like we can manipulate the x, it will move along the x-axis, which is this red one. This red one. So we can just assign a value like 1. Okay, it moves to another position. Or because here we have a very nice user interface, so you can drag. You can drag this x. And it's the same for this y and z. You can either drag or assign value here. And rotation is actually controlling the angle. So it's gonna be if you put it like 45, it's rotating around the x-axis for 45 degrees. Okay, and scale, it controls how large it is. Maybe you can scale it differently. If you want, this is 1:1. If you want 2:1:1, it's will look different. And you can also manipulate this scale here with this is position, this is rotation, and this is scale. So you can do the scale here. Make it like a wall. Okay. Alright. So that's this thing. And if we use copy paste to put another cube here. No, we don't need copy paste. Let's do this. Okay, so that's called prefab. So when you set up something in this thing, like this cube, right? In this cube. And if you drag this cube to this area or to this assets folder, if you drag something, some game object from your game hierarchy panel, which is a game object of the thing, if you drag any object from there to your game folder, is it here or here? It's the same thing. This is a hierarchy, this is not there. If you drag it there, it will become a prefab. So what is a prefab? Prefab means, see, since we adjust a little bit about this cube, right? So this cube, after we adjust, we think that, yeah, we may use this sort of cube again in some other place. Like this is a wall. We may want to use this wall again in some other place. So, but we don't want to